$80,000 in a single month. That type of money, if you made it in the month, you can chill out for the rest of the year. And I was able to do that. But not only that, I've been able to help my clients and students from all over the world create and shift into large sums of money.
I just want to thank you, Gavin. I received $125,000.
Gavin Stevenson. One little insight on what to do right has made me a ton of money.
There are so many amazing things that I can say about him and his program.
I'm having so much success in this program. I find myself having a very hard time listening to anybody besides Gavin.
I've manifested so much in my life.
I love this program so much. I just got a promotion and I've just rank advanced in my network marketing company, which is doTERRA Essential Oil. So I'm like, I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm freaking out. I'm so happy. I'm doing so well. I feel good. And I'm so happy I found this program.
And I'm going to share with you how I've been able to do this and how you can do the same too. So this started off many years ago, and I was suffering with anxiety, depression. I was in poor health, and the anxiety that I had, you know, people just have that kind of normal nervous anxiety. Mine was crippling. It felt like it was just like breaking me down. Like my body was in fight or flight, and I was able to generate this amount of money whilst feeling like that. And it's kind of crazy and it seems a little bit contradictory, but in the spiritual community it's promoted that you need to feel positive and high vibrational in order to shift realities, which is completely wrong. And so many years ago, around age 27, I was making decent money in my online business. I've been in online business for 17, probably 18 years now. I need to do the calculation. It's either 17 or 18 years. And it took me 2 years to make my first ever sale online. After that, I hired a coach and it cost me $500. Didn't have the money to invest into this particular coach, but I went and borrowed it, right? Because I just knew, right? I had a knowing, right? That's why I say to people, don't believe. Believing it has the word lie in it, right? If you believe in something, you're lying to yourself. In order to believe in something, you're convincing yourself. It's still dealing with the ego. It's still dealing with the mind and the mental construct, right? When you know something, it comes from a different space. So I knew this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm going to invest into. And so I borrowed money. And within 2 weeks of investing, I already made back my money and then some. I made $2,000 profit. So in total, I made $2,500. And so this was crazy because this was the first time I really genuinely felt self-sufficient, because it felt like I made more money in 2 weeks than I've ever made in a month in my entire life, right? Prior to that, I had never made that kind of money in a whole month, right? And I made that in 2 weeks in an online business, and I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Okay. And so what was even crazier is that I was reading the book Think and Grow Rich, and it was talking about faith and stuff like this. And so when you apply this kind of knowing to the things that you're doing, it's really, really powerful. But let's not digress into that. That's not what this video is about. After I made this money, eventually I got to my first $20,000 month, and I did it all by myself through the teachings that this particular coach taught me. And I then went on to hire another coach, and you may have heard of him. I'm not going to mention his name in this particular video, but he's very famous now in the spiritual community, and I was working with him one-to-one. Okay. It was kind of funny how that happened, because I was actually hiring him as a coach, and then he saw how fast I was generating results, getting money. And just so you know, notice the narrative that's going on in your mind right now with everything that I'm saying, okay? Because that is the character playing itself out. Maybe, it's saying this and that or whatever it is, I don't know, just in case. Just notice that and come back to awareness, come back to presence. So this particular coach, he saw that I was making money really quickly, and he said, oh, like maybe we can work together, maybe we can team up, right? And so we went 50-50 on a business, and I actually flew out to Texas in the US. I was in the UK at the time, and I went to work with him. Okay, now prior to all of this, again, like I'm feeling like I'm someone that is uneducated. I'm feeling like someone that, well, I am someone in this point in time, my identity, my character is saying, I have anxiety, I have crippling anxiety. I feel not enough. I'm suffering with depression. Dyslexic. I'm ADHD. I'm someone that struggles to read. I'm a black man from the UK, from the ghetto. Like who is gonna buy from me? Who's gonna buy this stuff? And actually, I remember going out to see Tony Robbins and stuff like this because I was trying to change these limiting beliefs that I had about myself. And so I invested a lot of money in my education prior to all of this. And even at the time when I was working with this particular coach, I was actually working with another coach in the personal development area, and it was another famous, very, 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 very famous self-development coach's son I was working with, right? And so I was paying a lot of money for that coach, and so all these things were happening. I was feeling all of this stuff, feeling not enough, feeling not successful, chasing more money, feeling unfulfilled on the inside, trying to make more money for the relationship that I was in at the time, and creating security, creating financial abundance, and all of this stuff. And so this is what the character was geared towards. And again, I'm someone that grew up in the ghetto, and I used to watch like a bunch of hip hop rap videos. And, back then it was like body showing everywhere, twerking and, all this stuff. And so my perception on women was like a bit messed up, and my perception on money was messed up, and, what success actually looks like. And so I went chasing down this rabbit hole of success because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And so for me, I was breaking past all of these patterns of, okay, I'm black, so I'm supposed to be a basketball player, right? I play basketball or soccer or football, right? Or, some sort of athlete, right? And these were, and again, this was like a long time ago, right? And so when things were, a little bit different back then, things have changed a lot now. But you can see the narrative and the programming that I had at the time. So leading into working with this coach, leading into going into Texas, can you imagine all the thoughts that I had about myself and, what's possible for me and stuff like this? And even though that I'd made my first 20K month, right, there were still these ingrained subconscious patterns and beliefs and identities that were perpetuating through the character, and I was operating in the character and projecting that on the world and causing more havoc. And so as I got to work with this guy in Texas, he started to tell me, hey man, you can do a 3K product, you can do a 10K product, you can do a 25K product. I'm like, what? Is this guy smoking something? This guy must be on something, right? He must be on some crack, or is he high? Hey, who's gonna pay me, right? Me, right? Character. Who's gonna pay me $25,000? No one is gonna pay me 10K or $25,000. With the 3K, it was a little bit more, that's a little bit more reasonable. I've charged $500. Why can't I charge $3,000, right? And so, about 10K, 25K, I don't know about all of that, bro. I don't see that's gonna work for me. This is what the character was saying, right? And so, as I started working with him, I started to get even more anxious and experience more crippling anxiety and get more nervous and get more not enough, right? Can you imagine that? My heart's beeping, thumping, it's just terror going on inside of me. But, he saw what I could do, and he said, no, you can do this, right? And this is the power of hanging around with the right people, by the way. You are the 5 people that you hang around with the most. And so when you expose yourself to realities, or you use the law of exposure. I don't know if you've heard of the law of exposure. It's when you expose yourself to the reality that you want. So if you want, to experience having a certain car or home or whatever it is, you need to hang around these areas just to absorb what it feels like in those environments, right? So you can take on the energies, right? And I can tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, every time I hang around with good, honest, successful people, you naturally start picking up stuff much faster than like an online course or a book or something like this. Is very, very, very powerful. Just want to share with you a little secret, right? The law of exposure. So man, so I'm working with this guy, and it's like, yeah, we can do 25K sales and stuff like this. Okay. Like I just didn't believe it, to be honest. Like I just didn't believe it. I didn't have that same knowing with the other coach that I work with. I just like, how is this possible? I can't see it. It was just too beyond my belief. It was too beyond my knowing and stuff like this. And so I think it took around 10 to 14 days. I cannot remember the exact time, but I know it was within 2 weeks for sure, right? Of speaking to people on the phone. I was closing sales, I was making money. But then there's one guy I spoke to. I was just talking to him. I didn't really care. Like I was just feeling like, okay, hey, how's it going? Like just having a conversation, keeping it real. And the process that I had at the time is I would get the client to go watch a video. He went and watched the video, and in the video it's got the packages that we have: 3K, 10K, and 25K. Okay. And bro came back and he said, oh, I want the 25K package. And he said it so nonchalant. Like he said it like, yeah, I want the 25K package. I was like, what? Oh, okay, yeah. So that's good. I need to go and speak with my business partner first to see, what he has to say, to see if we can do that for you, blah blah blah. Because I didn't know what to do, right? So I had to like kind of figure out a way to put down the phone, right? And so I called my mentor at the time, right? Called my coach. I told him, hey man, like, someone here like they want the 25K package, bro. Like, they want to get the 25K. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna come around. I'll be there in around 15 minutes. And that was a long ass 15 minutes. Trust. Like, it was a long ass 15 minutes. It was it just felt like forever. I was so anxious. It was like, oh man, like, am I gonna lose the sale? Am I gonna lose the money? Right? Lack, anxiety, not enough. Like, I don't deserve this, not worthy. All of these narratives and stories, right? He comes around and like we get back on the phone with the guy and we start speaking to him and stuff. And it was really interesting. He was like on his way to the airport at the time, and he had put his bags and luggage in and stuff like this. He checked in, right? And he left the airport, he went to the bank and he wired us the money, and then he went back to the airport. And when it arrived, you get the receipt from the bank with the 25K. I wish I kept that, man. I wish I took a photo of that. I would be able to show you, but the money arrived and I got that receipt, 25K. Bam. 25K whilst feeling not enough. Cray. Like, crazy. Like my life, my perception on reality completely transformed that day, because I realized what you're feeling is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. What you think about yourself is irrelevant. There's all this talk in the law of attraction community about being aligned, feeling the perfect feeling, and then I'll manifest the reality that I want. Right? It's a whole load of crap. Like, why do I have to be in a perfect energy in order to get the result I want out of life? Why can't I be authentic, and why can't I be have anxiety and been through a breakup or a divorce recently, or experienced in depression and whatever, and still be manifesting? I don't believe in manifesting, by the way. Like, I have a different perspective on manifesting. Is now more reality creation, so that people understand. But I'll talk about that in just a sec. But essentially, like, it's like even the spiritual and law of attraction manifestation community makes you feel not enough even further. And now it's just digging a rabbit hole of feeling more not enough, right? What do I have to do to be aligned? When's my manifestation coming? Is there something wrong with me? There must be something wrong with me. Everybody's telling me that I'm not high vibrational enough, right? And all this stuff. And so it's like, yeah, really? Right? And so we went on to do multiple 10K sales, and then we made smaller sales as well. That month ended up doing $80,000. Crazy, 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 crazy. All these beliefs about I'm black, ADHD, dyslexic, I'm uneducated. When I say uneducated, I just mean like I didn't really pass a lot of qualifications in school. I find it hard to write and read and this and that, right? All these beliefs, all these lies, right? That I was telling myself, the narrative, the story of the character projecting itself, and me being and identifying with it, right? And identifying with the character, right? When sometimes when is the lighting okay? I don't know if it's like getting kind of blurry or what. I might move direction here. Let's move direction so you can see me clearly. Okay, so when an actor, like, I can't remember what it's called, but they do this role, like they're so invested in the character that they actually become the character completely. They've identified with the character. That's what we do. We do that with our own thoughts, right? We become our thoughts so much, and we identify with them so much that we think we are them. I was the crippling anxiety. I was the ADHD. I was the dyslexia. I was the uneducated one. I was the black guy from the ghetto that can't make a lot of money. I was all of these narratives. I was the crippling anxiety. I was the depression. I was the one that's in the toxic relationship, and yada, 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 right? And life is happening to me, not through me. So that made me see, like, oh man, I'm not my story, right? And so as I started to progress through, and as I started to progress and mature in my spirituality, if you want to say mature in your spirituality and stuff like this, I realized, like, this game is, spirituality in itself is a scam. It's like a whole bunch of crap that keeps people feeling not enough, right? It's another loophole, so to speak. Like, it's like sometimes not all the time, it can be a quick fix, right? And for me, I realized that spirituality puts you in a box, right? You got to fit in the box of spirituality. It has an identity to it, and then we attach ourselves. Oh, I'm a spiritual person, right? And so you are unlimited. You are unlimited. You are source pretending to be limited. You are source pretending to be limited. You are presence pretending to be limited. You are consciousness pretending to be limited. Why? Because we identify with our thought. When you eradicate all language, when you eradicate all thoughts, you are free from the mind. And when you are free from the mind, I had a comment, one of my videos, oh yeah, like I became enlightened, and I'm not sure the exact wording, and I'm not trying to take the mick out of this particular person at all. It's just that he was living in his narrative, which is, okay, I was making money from being spiritual, and I felt uncomfortable about it, and so I went to work a job, right? And my reply to him was, that's the character. Once again, pretending to be spiritual. That's what a spiritual person does, is, oh, I'm going to quit my business and stop selling because it feels sleazy and whatever. And I'm going to go start a job until I feel comfortable about giving information for free and, without having to sell at the end of my video. This is all a narrative and story and character that's playing itself out. You are unlimited. You can sell stuff, you can be a spiritual person and still sell and like make money and be successful. Why would you limit yourself when you are unlimited? Presence or God is not saying not to sell anything, right? And so for me, like, it's about bringing people together, not necessarily about teaching people enlightenment. It's about showing people and inviting them to remember the truth, right? If some people want to join my program and pay me, great. If people just want to stick to watching my YouTube videos and getting value from my YouTube videos, great. Some people like the information organized and in a structure so they can follow through and experience a result quicker than watching YouTube videos, right? It just depends on the person, right? And like, we have to realize that how would $80,000 change your life? How would $150,000 in a year change your life? And all these things. Who can I shift into, right? And when I say who can you shift into, I'm not saying another character. I'm saying presence. Your true identity, if it was an identity, is that you are just consciousness itself, and you can walk and experience life through presence and really shift your reality. Because the 80K in the month, I was just not listening to the mind. I was not listening to the character. I was doing it regardless of how I felt, right? Now, what I would change about that now is that I would just allow the feeling to be there. What I was doing is I was resisting the anxiety, resisting all the thoughts that I was having about myself, right? And that, when you resist, it persists, right? And so now I wouldn't see those emotions or feelings as bad. In presence, they're not bad, they're not good, they just are. And I would just allow them to be there like clouds in the sky, right? And so I know by doing that, the emotion eventually is going to pass, and it's just a temporary emotion. Me, I was thinking, oh, it's going to be there forever. This is hard. This is challenging. I can't break through this. I can't keep pushing like this. I'm suffering right now. That is the narrative and story of the character. Okay. So this feeling of not enough stems from society, the matrix, telling you that you are not enough, right? All the time, from when you was very young, getting the grades, making sure you're able to listen in class, all this stuff. They told you from very young that you are not enough, and that if you don't achieve this, you're going to be not enough, right? And we see it everywhere. We see it on social media, comparing ourselves to other people. It happens all the time. It's everywhere all the time. So it's a core wound for many, many people all around the world. So it's not just you. And so know that you can still have that feeling around anyone, anywhere, any place, and still achieve what you want, because that is only the character. That is only the old self. And you can let it do what it wants to do. You can let it behave the way it wants to behave. You can let it show up the way it wants to show up, without disregarding it, without suppressing it, without pushing it away, without making it bad, and just allowing it to be there fully. And you can still achieve your goals. My thing is about having that internal success emotionally and spiritually, but also external success too. I like to work in both worlds, because in presence, you allow both worlds. We're here on earth, why not, right? And I know money exists and stuff like this, and we can get into that, and it's really deep, but For right now, it's okay to have both. God's not saying, or the universe or presence or source is not saying that it's not okay, right? If you think it's saying it's not okay, then that's the character, once again, telling lies and narratives and stories, right?
So as you'll see here, with what Gavin has shared with me, I've been able to generate over $13,820.72. And this is really awesome. However, coming out of Warrior Plus as well, throughout what Gavin has shared with me, I've been able to generate over $20,000.
If you would like to continue this journey with me, links in the description. I have an amazing community, amazing school where we come together as a family, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of coming together and celebrating that we are source, right? Pretending to be limited, practicing that every day and showing up as presence in our lives, and how it affects our relationships and our love and our money and our success, and the not enough feelings and needing to buy another course and another program and another fixing myself. We're going to stop all that in my program. We're just going to focus on experiencing your real truth. Okay, check the link in the description, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Peace.